Alrighty, so the last part of the Let's Play went pretty generally well, so I've decided that I'm going to do more The Hobbit Let's Play. If we call this a Let's Play, which I suppose is a valid name for it, maybe. I don't know. What I do know is that I want to talk to some
Silly time
dwarves.
to go pocket picking when we wanted fire and food.
You know what? I was trying to get you fire and food. I went the exact way that you told
Gandalf
me
said
to.
he left our company to look ahead.
This was actually a
I
line from the
asked him what
book.
brought him back in
This
time,
thing
and he
about,
said,
like, Gandalf's
looking
like,
behind.
I went to look ahead, and then I looked behind, and I found you guys, and what's up,
Evil
Balin?
creatures live in these hills. Be careful.
I believe you. I'll be very careful. I won't let any bad things happen to me. Yo, expert stick tactics.
I see you found a training scroll.
I certainly
This
did.
land is full of
Explain the
lore from
lore
the
of the
old
training scrolls.
kingdom of Arnor.
Lore? The
They
lore
use
is that
these
their
scrolls
lore?
to teach combat
That's
tactics to
crazy.
their young warriors.
It's crazy,
Now
fam.
the scrolls are scattered all over this desolate land.
Thanks, bro.
You will learn new fighting skills when you open them.
New fighting skills. Man, well, I sure hope that there are some enemies just up the hill so I can use my new fighting skills on them. Would you look at that? There's enemies. I can use my new fighting skills on these guys. That's not what I wanted to do. I don't remember my controls for this. There we go. How did I even do that? I don't know, man. I don't care. Whatever. Die. Die. I'm talking to the wolves, not to myself. There we go. Whatever. I survived. Might need to change my controls back. I actually don't even remember
That
how
was
I
quite a
managed to
climb.
target them.
I have to catch my breath.
Hello,
Any sign
Mr.
of the
Gloyan.
troll cave?
No. Or the key.
Bruh.
Key?
Long
He's just
ago,
dropping lore on
the
us.
Witch
He's like,
King's people built
by the way,
strongholds in this
there's a
land.
key up in the
Wicked
caves.
creatures like trolls
The
get the keys
trolls,
and use the
they
locked
find the
vaults to
keys,
hide from the sun.
and then they hide from the sun up into vaults. But I don't care. What I do care about is that there's a chest over here, and also a big gem. Did I already get this chest? I did not. Yo, and I even got a health potion. Look at that. Not that I need it right now. I've still got a whole 3.5 health bubbles out of, the 5 that I'm supposed to have. Let's go and climb up the hill. By the way, if you thought that the first episode of this was cringe and you were expecting me to have better humor for the second episode, that's not going to happen. My humor is going to remain consistent. Oh, nice. I get to learn how to use ropes now, even though there were ropes in the previous levels that I also used. Wild how that works. Bro, die. Thank you. Then there's another one somewhere in here. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Dude, how did he dodge that? There we go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna boom and boom. There we go. Fun times. Anyway, continuing on my little adventure. More rocks? That's crazy. I wonder how useful rocks are going to end up being to this Let's Play. Spoiler alert, rocks are the single most broken item in this entire game. And I'll show off how broken rocks are here in a little bit, because it's going to be fun to do so. If you are just a casual, Let's Player of The Hobbit, you do not know what I'm talking about yet. You will find out here in a minute. It's going to be fun, I promise. Don't worry, it's nothing too game-breaking. Source, trust me. Also, I'm lying. Anyway, dude, these guys are the worst. I want to have, the cool jump attack power-up, because that does an insane amount of damage, and an insane amount of, skill boosting. Unfortunately, I don't have it yet, so I'm just going to continue not having it for forever. Not really. I'll get it eventually. It's definitely one of the power-ups that, even when I'm not going for 100%, I usually go out of my way for anyway, because it makes life a lot easier. For some reason, I feel like I missed something. So I'm just gonna, backtrack real quick. Also, shoutouts to my older brother, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue this Let's Play. I was like, I don't even know if people like it, and he's like, no, please, you have to keep going, because I enjoy it. So, if no one else watches, Curtis, this is literally just for you. But, let's continue onward. Hello, Miss Elf. Bilbo is peeking at the elf from the wrong side of the rocks.
Oh, and she's
I think maybe originally this cutscene was intended to
I
happen
was
from
injured
this
by
direction,
3 trolls. I barely managed to
but,
escape into these caves.
he
My
definitely
healing draught
approached her
is in
from
the
the
next
wrong
chamber.
direction.
But I'm too weak to get it. Can you bring it to me?
That's crazy, bro. So, first boss fight in the game, which is going to be super exciting. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can nail this. Nope, not quite. So I was going for something cool there. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. But that's fine. It's not too big of a deal. This guy is still really, really easy to defeat. That's fine. Fortunately, yeah, like I said, he's a very easy boss, especially for the first boss in the game. Bro, he almost just attacked his own baby. There we go. He died. I think all of these little rocks have in them are just like mushrooms and stuff, but I'll grab them anyway because it's fun. We're gonna go down here, and like I said, I'm gonna grab them anyway, just in case I'm forgetting something super important that's located inside of them. Nice slide. I don't like the slides. Usually I try not to long jump at bad times because of the slides. There we go. So rocks in this game are super OP. Obviously, that time, I kind of just used on a regular enemy. But there's a way to defeat almost every single enemy in the game with exactly one rock. And I'll be utilizing that quite a bit because it's fun and also incredibly useful. But for now, we're going to give Miss Alf her potion, which has magically changed to a health potion instead of a Waters of Vigor Sprite. Not that it matters terribly.
I'm searching for the troll cave.
Honestly, if I had to guess, or not if I had to guess, if I had to, like, say anything about it, it's just me nitpicking. But me nitpicking about this game is fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy it anyway. Once again, that cutscene also leaves you facing this way, which makes me think that, yeah, they definitely were originally going to have it go the opposite direction somehow. I don't know exactly how that works. All I know is I'm going to go ahead and make a save and continue. These guys are some of the worst enemies in the game. I hate them. They're really annoying to fight. One hit does basically a heart of damage every time. Also, there's like a cool little boost I can do here, but I don't know if I can actually get it on the PC version. Hold on a second. It's a little bit hard to pull off. Wahoo! I got it anyway. So you're supposed to like climb up and go the long way around, but I don't want to do that because doing that is a lot more fun. Also, I'm going to grab some mushrooms, because otherwise these guys are going to be an absolute pain. Die, 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 and die. Die, and die. And they're all dead. Once again, let's go grab some shrooms. And you know what? May as well restock my rocks while I'm at it. Okay, yeah, that should be it. And then here, obviously, I have to bring up again, I'm definitely a speedrunner. There's definitely some speedrun stress, I know. One of them that's a little bit silly is doing this to get down to this layer a little bit faster. And if you do that, then you can actually just catch this next elevator cycle. And you don't have to, like, wait for the elevator to go all the way around in order to get back here. I would have liked to grab those mushrooms, but the game didn't want to cooperate with me. But that's fine. You know what? We're going to do some fun stuff. What I'm going to do... So I'm going to do some nice little enemy manipulation. How is he still alive? How are they both still alive? Honestly, I was afraid he was going to kill me for a moment there. Also, I don't have a lot of health, so I might actually die. But guess who's not taking a health potion, because it would be more fun to just die. Not only would it be more fun, but it would also be funnier for the sake of the Let's Play. To just, like, die. And you know, everything that I do is for the sake of comedy. Come on, buddy. Get down here. Come on down. There you go. Perfect. Bro, that jump attack doing absolute work for me. Okay, honestly, super easy. Die. Thank you. And then I believe there's a couple more over here. Again, I don't have to worry about, like, sliding down the slime wall here to get to the chest like I normally would, which, by the way, in case you were wondering, the chest is right there. But again, I already got it, so it doesn't matter. Also, I changed my controls ever so slightly recently. Instead of using the Q key for my camera up, I'm trying to adapt to using the W key for my camera up. Currently it is pain. Where am I going? That's not the way I want to go. But I'm trying to adapt to that for reasons. So, it's definitely a little bit of a challenge. So, if I end up accidentally hitting the Q key and opening the quest log to open my camera instead of, you know, doing the actual camera control that I have set, just deal with it. Honestly, I might just change my controls back after like a week. Let's go this way.
The key!
Yo, there's the key, bro. We found it. But before I can get that, I gotta do more epic fighting. Also, this level goes so long without giving you a save pedestal. Like, the last save that I had was down by the boss. And the next save I'm gonna have, I mean, it's up here a little ways, but it's been a while since the last save is more my point. Let's go on this way. Yeah, save pedestal right here. It's definitely been a minute. We make and save. Can I make this jump? Absolutely can. I actually couldn't remember, so which was a little bit scary. This level is fun, and actually there are a lot of levels where they hide courage points at like the very top or bottom of lifts or ropes, so that was kind of an epic wild ride. Alright, where to now? How about over here? Over here is going to be fun because there's this spider. Ooh, really? Okay, fine. I'll just destroy you with my stick then. For some reason, my, like, rocks didn't want to work, so I just defaulted to using stick instead. I think this chest is a little bit scary. Why did I do that? Nice. Oh, nice, and I got a new rock throwing tactic because that's gonna, help a lot with, throwing rocks. Actually, it might, I don't know, right now I'm doing terrible at, like, basic rock throwing, so who knows, it might do something. That's, fun movement. Just, let's go ahead and make a save. I'll grab the shrooms, just in case I need them. And then we'll open the chest. I like to think that I'm pretty decent at the lockpicking / chest opening on PC. I can't pretend that I'm decent at combat, considering most of my combat just involves me, like, spamming the jump and attack keys. Because the thing is, like, on the ground, obviously, I can attack up to 2 times, like this. When I get my later scroll, I'll be able to attack up to 3, but your attacks in the air aren't quite as limited, so you can kind of just swing around like crazy if you're in the air. And that makes your attack speed a lot more efficient, obviously. Okay, now I hate these guys. I hate them with all of my being. But that's fine. They're not too big a deal. Honestly, I think that's all of them, right? Yeah, they're all dead. Nice. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and make a save here real quick. And there's some funky stuff I can do over here, where I don't actually have to worry about, riding any of these lifts to get anything. Because there's 2 sets of items that you need from the lifts. One of them is those courage points up there, which you can either, like, jump on the mushroom to get, or you can jump over to this rope to get. The rope's a little bit slower, but I missed the mushroom boost, so the rope it is. And then the other one is the key, which you can just do that and that to get. It's fun. Like I said, this game is very fun. Like, it's a lot of fun to just, like, find new ways around things or to things or whatever, and just kind of play however you want. Where am I going? For some reason I feel like I missed stuff, but I mean, 'tis par for the course. I say that even though, like, the levels that I finished so far have been 100%. Whatever. It's not too big of a deal. Like I said, my goal isn't 100%, my goal is to have fun. And we're sticking with that. As long as I'm having fun, we're all good. Speaking of fun, there we go, sort of. Missed the second one, but the first one I got pretty easily. And then the chest. Now that should be the end of the level. I'm curious. How did I do? Bro, there's no way. 100% again. I'm so good at this game.
What a beautiful blade with elvish runes.
That is a beautiful sword,
Barely
actually.
a pocket knife for a troll, but perfect for a hobbit.
So I will mention right here, where he decides to name the sword Sting.
I know.
Don't think it makes quite as much sense as the book, because he names the sword Sting when the spiders call it Sting in the book. Also, that shot is beautiful. Like that shot of the sky and whatnot. Gorgeous shot right there. Gonna buy some rock bag upgrade, and we'll continue on.
Soon the company reached Rivendell, home of the elves. Elrond told them of a secret entrance to
Man,
the
I sure
dragon's
do
lair,
love
a
not
door
playing this
revealed
segment and
only
just
by the knocking
seeing
of
it in a
bird
cutscene.
called a thrush.
Sure wouldn't like to be
After
playing this
rescuing
right now.
Rivendell, they set out to cross the Misty Mountains.
To be fair, that
Evil
is one of the
things
more
and
boring
dreadful
sections of the
dangers
book.
awaited them,
But they did
like
cut out some
stone
pretty
giants
important details about, like, the
worse.
map and stuff that are in the book, where, like, there are some special runes that just only show up on the map during a certain time of day, during a certain day of the year.
Would you please give Beaufort a hand starting that fire?
Bro, Beaufort's over there spinning a stick, not even able to start a fire. But before I talk to Beaufort, I'm gonna go around and talk to some of these
Leave me alone.
Okay, fine, I'll just go talk to Beaufort then. Forget talking to the other dwarves, forget trying to be nice.
This wood is too wet to catch fire.
Perhaps you need dry firewood.
And if
Bruh,
you could find any,
I don't know
would
how
be in
you're
your
gonna
debt.
find dry firewood in this weather. Also, what's up, Thorn?
When we reach the lonely mountain, we'll use my grandfather's map and key.
Basically, that's all of the information that's missed from that section of the book that was just cut out here. But, what's up,
On the
Gandalf?
other side of the Misty Mountains lies Mirkwood Forest.
That's crazy.
Home of the wicked necromancer.
Spoilers
His
for the
minions
later
are more
section of the game.
dangerous than the creatures you've seen here.
You're never gonna believe it, but we're actually gonna end up there. Actually, you know what? I should talk to Bomber. It's always funny to talk to
hello,
Bomber.
Bilbo. Feely and Keely went up the high path to look for shelter. I hope they find some food too.
We'll see if they find any food, I suppose. But,
Keeping watch for stone giants. We heard some down
Thanks,
the low
bruh.
path around that bend. So we sent Feely and Keely to scout out the high path instead.
I'll just look
Alrighty.
for firewood. If I see any giants, I'll come right back.
yeah, you know what? That's actually a good idea.
Have courage, little hobbit. You remind me of my boy, Gimli.
Nice. Yeah, if I see any giants, I'll come right back up here. That seems like a really good idea.
Ah, firewood for Beaufort.
That's new. I didn't know that I could do that, actually. I grabbed the training scroll at the same time that the dialogue played. Never seen that before, but that was fun. May as well go ahead and save. Firewood's right up there, by the way. May as well go get it. Nothing could possibly go wrong during this set. I see. Many things are, in fact, going wrong.
Well, there's no going back.
Man, that sucks.
Oh, how will I ever get back to the dwarves? I suppose if I follow the edge of this mountain, I'll find my way to their trail.
You know, I love Bilbo's logic here. I love how the logic is. Man, maybe if I run farther away from the path, I'll end up back at the path. Oh, there's some nice courage points over here. Ah. I see the issue. But anyway, we get to test out our sword now. How am I better with the sword? This makes no sense. That's crazy. I'm a lot more used to fighting with the walking stick for various reasons. mostly because I'm a speedrunner, you know? But, you know, it's all fun and games. Let's go ahead and head down this way. There's a little tunnel right here, which I'll just pop into. And my favorite enemies in the game are hiding in here. Die. Thank you. You know, I don't think I've died by accident yet in this playthrough. The only time I can remember dying is in Roast Mutton intentionally, as like a gimmick to show off the water. Which, yes, in case that wasn't obvious, that was a intentional little joke death. See, there's the camera again. There's exactly what I was talking about with that camera. And then down here for some things. Down, grab the chest. And up again. On our merry little way. Is that everything? I think that's everything. Oh, but there are some rocks over here that I want to get, actually. I'd like to keep my rock bag as full as I can, at least for a while. I hate movement in that water, because the water, like, it won't push you off the edge. For some reason, the water, like, stops pushing you at a certain point. But it does constantly push you that direction. The only way you can really make it through is by, like, jumping through. But yeah, you kind of just get pushed over toward the edge. And then here, there's some fun platforming. Let's see, there's this right here. Hello? There we go. And then, there's this right here, which is one that you can actually see from the approach. But, we're gonna continue on. This block, I think you're probably supposed to, like, push it up to the wall, but you can just make that with a regular jump super easily. But yeah. And then more chest. Okay, making sure that I'm getting, like, all the things off the tops of the ropes and whatnot. Because they're pretty easy to miss. This level has a lot of, like, hidden, I mentioned earlier that there are a lot of, like, gems that are hidden, like, at the very tops of ropes and stuff like that. This level is definitely where the game starts doing that a lot. Here, you don't even need to, like, grab the ledge and navigate around, because you can just walk on top of the little thing. And that's why I almost always, like, even when I was a casual player, I would just walk on top of these. The actual reason being that when I was playing this game casually for the first time on PC, I never realized that you could use the A and D keys to strafe. So whenever I grabbed onto a ledge and I tried to press, like, left or right keys to move, it would never actually do anything for me. Again, it took me a really long time to figure out that that was even an option. That's a little bit more relevant later on, but especially right here, it made it very difficult to figure out how to get around this area without just jumping on top of this thing and walking around, which I actually assumed was the intended way to do it, since that was the only, like, way that made sense to me. Sorry, just wanted to check something real quick. For some reason, I got paranoid that I wasn't actually recording microphone. It's like, man, imagine recording 23 minutes and 27 seconds of a video without having your microphone on. That would suck. Anyway, let's go this way. Ah. I see a slight issue.
What have you done with my burglar? Bofa sent him to find firewood. If he's not back yet, then drat him, I say. He's not been very useful. I brought him, and I don't bring things that are of no use. I hope he's better at dodging boulders than he is at fetching firewood.
What could be a problem? Hold on. Didn't Bilbo say that he would come right back to the dwarves if he saw any giants? Well, you know what? I've got an idea. Let's go back to the dwarves. I think that's actually an idea that is very much within my interest right now. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attempt to go back to the dwarves now. Head on back to the dwarves. Ah, yes. I see the problem. You know, I don't think that's going to be a very easy way of getting back to the dwarves. You know what might work, though, actually? If I can remember how to do this. There's probably a way of getting back to the dwarves. It's called, doing a glitch. Hold on. This is going to take me a second, but I promise I am going to pull it off because it's cool, and it will get me back to the dwarves, and it will also allow me to show off something else that I think is pretty cool in this level. Like I said, this is going to take me a moment. There we go. So that's a glitch called clip warping. It's a little bit complicated, and I don't feel like really going into the details of it right now, but that will allow me to talk
No
to
dry firewood?
Bruh.
No dry firewood?
Hold on. Bruh, literally firewood. Literally firewood. I brought you the firewood you need, and you're just ignoring me. You know what? That's fine. I guess we'll slide back down the path over here. You know, to get back to the same area that we went to when we slid down the path before. Right? So, in case any of you did not know, this level has a giant hidden beta area. I say hidden, that in all honesty, it's literally just a beta area that can't be accessed. That is, in my theory, the original Overhill and Underhill area that we just can't access because, you know, they replaced it with the area that we have now, but they never actually, like, cut it out of the game files. And because of that, we can still access it. So I'm going to go ahead and run through here and just do a little bit of exploring real quick. In case any of you are interested in exploring this, I will actually include a beta save in the files in the description. I'll include a link to it in the description so you guys can explore this area to your heart's content. But I'll just do a really quick, like, run through of the area just to kind of show you. And then we'll get back to, you know, your regularly scheduled Let's Play. I wouldn't recommend going down here because it's really annoying to get back out. There's nothing down here anyway. But, there's a little cave over here with some puzzles that don't actually work, as well as a room with a bunch of ropes in it, and some textures that, like, randomly load and unload. The water in here is really annoying to jump through as well. You know, there's a lot of stuff. There's a block here that you can push it in, and it won't actually function properly. And then there's this room over here, which has a bunch more hanging ropes. Not a whole lot going on. Trying to remember where to go here, because it's been a minute since I went into this area. Again, not doing a whole lot of, like, detailed exploration or anything. If you want to see this area for yourself, you can pull up the save in the description. Highly recommend doing so, by the way. This area is actually super interesting, at least to me. And then over here, there's this little bridge where the, like, tiles fall out. And then over here, there is a area with falling rocks that's actually in a couple of the beta trailers for the game. Gonna do my best to avoid those. There we go. Over here, there's a bunch more, like, platforms, ropes, stuff like that. There's some paths that are generally blocked off, so you can't, like, access them in any way. If you head over here, we'll get to pretty much the end of the developed beta area, where there's kind of just like a little climbable ledge, and you go up here and there's nothing else. Off in the distance, you can actually see the final area, where it kind of looks like they just ditched this area and started development of the new area. I'm not fully sure what the intention behind it is. That being said, I am going to go ahead and reload my save from here so that I can continue playing the way that God intended. We'll skip the cutscene this time because I already watched it.
Those stone giants are throwing boulders at me. I'd better hurry.
You know, thank you for explaining that to me, Bilbo. I didn't understand that before. You know what I do understand, though, is that I just picked up some fire rocks, which are crazy useful without glitches. Like, they legit just killed those wolves in, like, a single hit each. Which, again, I can do with glitches anyway, and I will be doing, but right now it's fun to just be able to do it with no effort. Alrighty, there's a bunch of ledges here, with a bunch of courage points on them. There we go. And then I think there might be, like, a... Okay, there is not. For some reason I thought there was, like, a courage point at the top of that rope. There wasn't. It doesn't matter. There are courage points at the top of these 2 ropes, though. They're red. Red courage points, I believe, are worth 5, and then green are worth 10. You know what? Let's go for these mushrooms. Seems like probably a good idea to me. And then I believe that's everything out here. Man, these rocks are falling everywhere, which is making it very hard to stop and look around. That does not matter, though. What matters is that I'm over here now. Crazy how that works. Make a save down to the courage point, and then...
This pillar looks weak. Perhaps I can trick those stone giants into making a bridge for me.
You know, I think that's a good idea, Bilbo. Let's just let them build the bridge for ya. We'll wait for a... There we go. Yo. That's sick. And then we can kind of just climb across the bridge. Hello.
Thank you, stone giants! You made my escape for me!
There we go. There we go. Again, kind of just using the little rock glitch to get through here a little bit easier. To defeat the enemies a little bit easier. Alrighty, let's kill some wolves. So right now the reason I'm using the sword is because the sword does more damage, and the stick doesn't provide much of an advantage at the moment, aside from its slightly extended range abilities. However, later on in this level, and especially in the next level, I'm going to be using the stick a lot more, because of an upgrade that I'm actually going to be getting here in just a minute. That's kind of wild and breaks the stick quite a bit. Also, I like how Bilbo's floating in that cutscene because I entered it well in the air. Once again, just sort of things that happen. We're going to climb up this rope all the way up to the top. Again, every rope pretty much from this point on, we're going to be climbing all the way to the tippy top just to make sure we're not missing anything. And that should be everything over in this area. Courage point, giant green courage point worth 10, and on our way into the tunnel. Alrighty, and then I'll make my save right here. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a roundabout path for this next area in order to avoid a glitch that sometimes happens, because it's possible for... What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go, like, out here, out this tunnel, fall down a little hole that opens up, and then navigate your way through the cave into this little room. But it's possible for that to not work and to cause one of the enemies to clip out of bounds. So instead of doing it that way, I'm going to go down here first and grab this rope and climb up here to get to this chest. Because this chest contains the best upgrade to a weapon in this entire game. In my opinion, at least. Hello? There we go. Missed a couple of grabs there. 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. This Expert Jump Tactics upgrade for the stick is insane, because what I can do now is, well, you know, I'll just show you. Yep. That right there. Basically, I have a ranged jump attack now that does damage to, like, a circle around me, which makes it possible to hit enemies that aren't directly next to me super easily. Oh, nice. I can grab that. That's cool. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm already down here and I don't want to be down here, I'm just going to, well, first of all, I'll grab these. But I'm actually going to go back outside, because this cave over here to my left is where all of those wolves were that I killed. And I guess I could have just saved the wolves for now that I have the jump attack upgrade, but I didn't want to do that, because I thought it would be more fun to fight them with the sword while talking about how lame it is to fight with the sword. But we are just going to head over this way now. And you know what? I'll go ahead and save again, just cuz. Why not? And then this guy, I should be able to just... Yep. Nice. Alrighty, grab a courage point. Grab another courage point. Grab this courage point.
Dangerously thin.
That's crazy. Bruh. There we go. Maybe Bilbo will float. Floating? He did. He did. He floated. There we go. Alrighty. Heading back outside. Well, you know what? I actually want some... I was going to grab some mushrooms, but I don't think there are any. But yeah, especially now that I have the stick upgrade, the jump attack upgrade with the stick. I'm going to be using the stick a lot more. Alrighty, let's go this way. Ah, man, that's a shame. Wonder if there's a way to get across there. He says, knowing full well that with glitches there is a way to get across there. But anyway, let's go ahead and head down the tunnel. And we're in this room. Ooh, what's that?
It looks like it's missing some pieces.
That's a shame. Well, can't go this way now because, you know, that thing's missing pieces. So I guess what I'll do is I'll save and I'll head down that tunnel. But before I do that, because I'm feeling a little bit silly, I may as well show it since I mentioned that there is a way to get across there, you know, without, like, falling. May as well show it. You can, like, run part way out and do a long jump across. And pretty much all that does is get you to this side where the path just abruptly ends. Again, not a big deal. Most casual players aren't going to be able to get across here anyway. But, gonna go ahead and reload from here now. Did I grab that big pink courage point outside? You know, I don't know if I did. I'm gonna go back outside to check real quick, because I feel like I might have missed it, actually. See, this is the fun part of watching me Let's Play a game, is with me and my insane forgetfulness, I will never be able to remember whether I actually forgot something. But no, I got it. Let's head down the tunnel. Once again, another cutscene with Bilbo floating in the air. I love the Bilbo floating cutscenes. They're so silly to me. Dead. 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 And dead. How did you not die? There we go. Nice. And jump attack upgrade also does work on breakable objects. So not just the enemies. You can exploit it in a lot of different ways. Yeah. Grab chest. Hello? There we go. I believe that's like the one brown chest in the game that can actually do damage to you, by the way. Is that one right there. But, we're heading up this way. So that machine that we were at earlier, where it was like, this machine looks like it's missing a couple pieces. That machine is missing pieces, and we're going to be collecting the pieces just along our way here. Oh, wow, that was almost scary. Boom. Going on up here, grabbing some gems. Navigating my way back down. There we go. Hold on, are there courage points at the top of that rope? There are not. This level's actually kind of fun to 100%. Like, short of the one glitch that I mentioned earlier that can happen over by the little, like, imp guys, this level's a lot of fun to 100%, because there's enough, like, things that are located in slightly hidden spots, but also aren't too, like, completely random to actually be able to find. That instead of being a frustrating level, it just becomes fun. There's definitely some levels later on that have just random things thrown in the single most obscure spots on planet Earth. Or I guess planet, Shire. Planet Middle-earth? I don't know what the joke is. There's a joke somewhere there to be made, I just can't think of it right now. Heading down. Thankfully, this led us back around in a circle. Now, in case you didn't notice it, or in case it's not something that you thought about, we started here, we went down this tunnel which led barely down at all. We climbed way, 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 way up, continued climbing up, and then came out here where the tunnel basically just looks like it leads to almost the same level. And if you look in here, you can kind of see a room that doesn't look like the room we came from, and has some mushrooms just chilling on the floor. There's are some ways that I can get back there There are no like glitch ways to get back there, but there are some ways that we can like use like cheating devices and stuff to get back there to see what room that actually is. It turns out that's another little room that's not actually used in game. I don't know whether it's a beta room or exactly what it is, but it's one that, you know, there's no way to access under normal means. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a cheat software real quick to show it off, just to show it off. I want to make sure I actually made my save here before I do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I did save. Awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and turn on just a little cheat mode just to show this off. Going to make sure that I don't hit the load triggers here. Over this way. Yeah, this room right here. Just a completely unused room. No way to access it. I don't know why it's here. I don't know what it's used for. But yeah, it's just a thing that exists. I don't think there's even really a way out of here once you're in here, because like there's no trigger over here that causes you to warp to the next area or anything like that. I am going to go ahead and reload, not that save, I'm going to reload this save here in a moment, but I'm also going to completely close out of the game, because if you open that software and then like attempt to play the game after closing it, it messes up some things. It leaves some like cheat text on screen basically forever. And I don't want to bother with that, so we're just going to continue from here. Which again, I've lost no progress, but I also managed to show off that room. We're going to continue on this way. By the way, shoutouts to M Karma of the Hobbit speedrun community for making the software that I just used to like enable fly mode and clip through the walls and stuff like that. Big part of the Hobbit speedrun community. He's made a lot of very useful things like guides and tools and stuff like that.
I don't like the look of this.
He's also the world record holder on PC currently, so again, huge shoutouts to him.
Saw a Bilbo along the low path. The old dwarf
Bro, that's
mine
crazy.
dug
You're
out
telling me
there.
that the dwarves are
The
watching
goblins
me on
drove
my
the
adventure?
dwarves from those strongholds long ago. Now, all manner of vile creatures roam those halls.
You dwarves will find Mr. Baggins, or I'll go alone and leave you to get out of here as best you can.
Alrighty, well, there's a lot going on in this room. I'm gonna go ahead and save, which is what I do like 90% of the time anyway. And I will say if there's one section of the level that I'm liable to die at, it is probably this section that I'm in currently. This is, you know, the one where I'm most likely to die. As evidenced by the fact that I just literally said that twice. Okay, yes, that's all of them. There we go. And then we'll head down here. And we'll go this way. Climb across the little things. Grab all of the little things. And onward to victory. However, not to victory yet, because there are more things up here to collect. And this will be another example of climbing all the way up the ropes to see if there's anything hidden at the top. There is not. That's fine. That was almost scary. That jump is a little bit scary because you can't actually see what you're doing on the long jump, like even if you adjust the camera. Just not really possible to see what you're doing at all. There's a couple wonky things in this area, like that jump down there, which, you know what? I will go ahead and die just once to show it off. Actually, I don't know if I'll die, but I will show this off. For some reason, the water in this room, like, injures you. I don't know why. I think it's the only water in the game that does that. But the water definitely hurts you. Also, all this lever does is pull out that block, which, even if that wasn't pulled out, you could just do that. So it's not that big of a deal. But I suppose it does make the next area that you have to go a little bit more obvious. There we go. And then, right down here. Oh, sus-looking wall, fam. Couldn't possibly be anything, like, hidden behind there or whatever. gear. Another gear.
Another one of these odd contraptions. And it's missing pieces too.
That's crazy. It's almost like I already collected all the pieces. Also, you see this funky little texture thing up here? Well, that is a button, and if you hit it, that sus-looking wall opens up. So it turns out it wasn't just a sus-looking wall, it was a sus-looking wall with a chest hiding behind it, which is infinitely more valuable than any other kind of sus-looking wall. I'm just going to rescan this area real quick to make sure there's nothing I've missed, because again, it is really, really easy to miss stuff in this area, and as much as my goal isn't necessarily to get 100%, if I'm able to do so, I think it would be really nice. And I'd like to strive to, like, attempt to do so, at the very least. But, let's go ahead and put the gears in the machine. Door opens up, and we can continue on our merry way. And man, would you look at that, there's another kind of sus-looking wall. Wonder what could possibly be going on there. I say, knowing full well exactly what's going on there. Why did I do that? Whatever, doesn't matter. I think this is another area where you're supposed to push a block to do something, but not only do you not need the block, because you can just jump from here, which is, like, you know, whatever, exploit, glitch, whatever you want to call it. But, like, even if you don't move the block, you can just jump from here to grab the thing. So I don't really know fully what the purpose of the blocks is in this stage. But, it doesn't matter too much. What does matter too much is that there's another button here. And just like the previous one, I even hit that one in the air and Bilbo kind of floated during the cutscene. Once again, another floaty cutscene. Just kind of a little bit of a silly thing. I don't know, I think it's cool. This game has a lot of little quirky things like that. Oh, hold on, there we go. Don't know if I have enough time for this chest now. So the nice thing about playing on PC is that you can actually hit escape to exit the chests, which I don't think is something that you're supposed to be able to do. Oh nice, I've got cool jump attacks for sword now. It's not quite the same as my stick jump attack, but it is cooler than the normal sword jump attack. But yeah, in general, I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that with the chests. I think it's probably like a leftover debug command or something. But it's definitely something that I can utilize, because it helps a lot. Like, if I get trapped in a chest that I think I'm gonna die from, or that's gonna do damage to me or whatever, I can just press escape to exit out of it. Anyway. Going down this way. There's, like, courage points hidden around this little banister. Oh, sorry, did I say points? I meant point. And then you can just head this way. That is a terrible ledge, because it can cause you to just glitch off. And then can I make this jump? I can. Nice. Oh, that's bad. There we go. I'm better with, like, the cycle ones than I am with, like, the pointers. But that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. I can pretty decently do both of them anyway. And then here, I think... Yeah, I got everything along this path. Pretty easy stuff. Fun times. Grab the gear, grab the courage point, grab the courage point, and then there's one more chest hiding down here. Heading up here. And we'll go ahead and put all the gears into the machine. Door opens. And I can continue on my way, but once again, I'll just double check if I actually got everything in this area, because this is another area where it's really easy to miss stuff. And what? I don't trust myself right here specifically. Also, this is yet another area where you can just make the jump, even without moving the block. But even without the block itself, you can just make the jump. So it kind of makes me wonder, because, I mean, we have evidence that Overhill was worked on earlier anyway, because of the giant beta area. It does make me wonder if maybe the movement mechanics were different in the original build, and a lot of that stuff just got carried over to later drafts or whatever. That's not the button. There we go. Bruh, I feel like I'm missing something. I don't think I am, though. I think I did actually get everything. Which is kind of crazy. However, I will just continue on my merry way. So in terms of the gears, like, you don't even need to really put the thing together, because if you want to, you can just make a jump from here to get across. But not that it's that big of a deal. I've already got it put together, I may as well go this way. So, fun fact, this area originally was going to have a big boss fight with a giant, like, troll that complains about his tooth hurting. It sounds a little bit silly, and I can't really show it off right now. But originally there was definitely going to be some silly, like, boss stuff here. It would have been fun to deal with, albeit a little bit silly. There's definitely some videos, and again, I can include a save if you want to be able to tamper around with it. But, yeah. We're just gonna go in through the door now. There's a couple of, like, chests and coins and stuff in here. Grab this chest. I think this one has maybe 7 on it. Might just be 5, actually. Or 6. No, I was right. It was 7. Okay. I remember better than I think I remember. And this should be everything in the cave. We'll head down here. I'm going to go ahead and make a save. And then because it's something that I mentioned, and because I've already used the speedrun tool at one point in this run anyway, I am going to go ahead and show off the boss fight, if I can find it. In case you're wondering, by the way, this is a giant, like, dev menu. There we go. Okay, teleport to... It's going to take me a minute to get back there now. Probably recognize this whole area because I went through here a moment ago. But we'll just, like, breeze through here for right now. But you can even see him from here. Big troll boss over there. The theory goes that he was originally going to drop the troll key after you fought him. Again, I can't necessarily confirm anything because he didn't make it into the game. But we will go ahead and fight him just for the sillies. Just for the funsies. So, again, if you're a super casual viewer, enjoy the fight that's about to come up.
My tooth hurts.
Nice. Okay, I am going to go ahead and save here real quick. Basically, the way this guy works is you have to get him to, like, charge at you. More specifically, to charge at the pillars. If I can get him to. Hold on a second. So, there we go. Okay. Perfect. Hit him. He should charge at me / charge at the pillar. Nope. Bear with me. I'm not super familiar with how this works. Again, I've only fought this guy like twice ever. He's a little bit annoying. Okay, there we go. And now, I believe is when he should charge at me with the pillar. These cutscenes are also silly because, like, if you jump... I think this is one of the most evident examples of Bilbo kind of just floating. There we go. Okay, that's one hit. Okay. Hit him. There we go. That's 2. Okay, and then we'll get him to charge at this pillar. Nice. Now there should be one more pillar. Basically the same thing. This also definitely uses the, like, shielding mechanic that's, although it's never really explained to you, it's built into the game. If you, like, back up, Bilbo kind of shields himself with whatever weapon he's holding. Bruh. There we go. Okay. I think the, like, little meter on the bottom is supposed to show you how far away the... how far away he is from, like, you know, attacking or whatever. I don't think this is necessarily the most enjoyable boss fight, especially compared to some of the others that are, like, in the final game. And then here, really? I thought he was ready to charge for some reason. He is certainly not. There we go, maybe. Yep, okay. And now he should be about ready to die. Perfect. And then here, there's actually a really nice little Bilbo face here that I think is kind of cute. During the scream. That right there, I love it. It's so good. But yeah, that's the cut fight right there. Once again, same thing. I'm going to close out the game and reopen it just that I can actually, you know, resume without causing a whole bunch of weird havoc. I don't want that save. I do want this save. We are going to continue down the tunnel. And again, once again, I will include my beta save collection in the description probably. I might not. I don't actually know where my beta save collection is at the moment. I'll try to remember to include it if I can remember where I have it.
Bilbo! Up here!
Hey, what's up, Gandalf?
Oh, Gandalf! You'll never believe what happened. There were giants and wolves and even...
Plenty of time for
So
stories,
originally,
but
the
all
line of
that time.
dialogue there that got cut short was, there were giants and wolves and an enormous troll. For what I think are obvious reasons, the troll portion of the line got cut out. But, obviously now we know that Bilbo wasn't originally lying. So anyway, I didn't go down here a moment ago. I wanted to go down here to collect all the stuff that I missed. So, nice, got the courage point. Gonna go ahead and head up this way. And there's a nice little fun, one last little, like, fight right here. When I say fun, I mean,
There you
don't
are,
actually
Bilbo.
know how much fun you would consider this. This is also, like, the part of the level where I'm most likely to die. Like, if I'm gonna die at any point in the level, it's gonna be this part. Just because of how the goblin's behavior is kind of
Flash,
random,
flash.
and Gandalf's behavior is also kind of random.
Take them to the great goblin.
They can also unfortunately attack you in these first couple seconds, and you can't really do anything about it. Not that it was too big of a deal that time. Hello? Please, I'm begging you. Stop shielding. Thank you. Bro. I hate this guy. There we go. I won. And there's a bunch of, like, courage points and stuff here.
This should stop those goblins.
This cutscene has absolutely no sound. Like, no music or anything. His like, giant Gandalf laser
There's
doesn't even
more
make any
about
sound.
you than meets the eye, Mr. Baggins. The dwarves made camp just around the bend.
Also, I
Come
love
along,
how
Mr.
Bilbo kind of
Baggins.
looks, like, freaked out at this moment. He's like, I don't know how to react to this information. Alright, I do believe that's all the courage points. Or at least should be. Couple there. What's up, Bolfer?
Here's your confusticated firewood.
Ah, well. Ah, good lad.
Alrighty. And I wonder how we did. So apparently I missed 50 courage points somewhere in the level. And to be honest, I have no idea where those are. Actually, no, I do know exactly where those are. But once again, I don't actually care because my goal, and this is not to get 100%, my goal is to have fun playing the game. But in case anyone was wondering, the 50 courage points that I missed were near the beginning of the level on a little platform that I forgot to go on. Also, there is an invisible wall here. So anyway, we're going to continue on.
The sun sleeps, and so should we.
I think that's a great idea, Mr.
Time
Gandalf.
to make camp, Mr. Baggins.
It's going to be a long night. But yeah, 50 courage points early on. Doesn't matter too much. I'm trying to decide what to buy. You know what? We're going to go with the med chest because that way we can pick up more potions. And we're going to go ahead and leave the level, head on to the next.
They slept soundly in a dry cave. Then Bilbo heard a noise.
So obviously both of those levels were considerably longer than the levels that I played in the last part. And considering I played 2 levels in the last part and then kind of quit, I do think I am going to go ahead and leave it off
In the darkness and
after
confusion,
that level
no
for
one
this
saw
part.
Bilbo crack his head on a rock and fall into shadow.
Man, that
When he
sucks.
awoke, Bilbo was alone.
I can imagine that hurt quite a bit hitting your head on some rocks.
Oh, lost again.
Man. Yeah, no, that really does suck. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and save here. And then, yeah, this is definitely... I'm going to come back for another part later on. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and abandon this Let's Play for tonight. Once again, if you enjoyed or if you didn't enjoy, if you absolutely hated it, you know, whatever your thoughts are, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of, you know, the way I'm commentating, the way I'm playing, the way I'm going about things. Let me know what you think of the little beta showcases. If you've never seen that before, let me know. If you've seen it before, also let me know. You know, I like interaction in the comments, so whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you say, I will definitely read all your comments. So anyway, have a good night, and hopefully I will be coming back later with another part of this. In the meantime, see ya.